It's time for my weekly update. I have done no fasting this week, as I spoke about last week, but I have decided to try taking colostrum, and the first day that I took it, I felt like I was going to die. Hi there, my name is Sue. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, I've been on the carnivore diet for just a little bit over 2 years now, and I have been back in the steak and butter gang doing feasting and fasting for the last month or so. And if you've not seen my earlier videos about this, you can go back and check those out. Now, before I get started, while I remember, I want to let you know that I am thinking about starting a community for people eating a carnivore or ketovore diet. And I am looking to get some feedback as to whether people would be interested, because I don't want to start it if there's not enough people. Now, I have set up a page on my website, and I'll pop that link below. So if you are interested in joining this community, you can go down and fill in my form on my website. I'm just asking for your name and your email address and any comments or suggestions that you might have. I'm looking at probably about $5 a month to cover costs and that sort of thing. And so if I have enough interest, then I will set this community up. And what I'm thinking is it could be a place for especially those of us whose carnivore journeys haven't gone quite as smoothly as we might have wanted them to. Those of us who are struggling with gut health and histamine issues and those sorts of things. Those of us who have kind of really sensitive constitutions, like I do, and or those who are struggling with weight loss and those sorts of things. Yeah, so anybody really, but I just thought, if we could have a community where we have a lot of us who have struggled with these things, then we can help each other out, and new people that are coming on board who are also struggling with those things, then we might be able to provide some guidance or some ideas as to how to manage whatever they're struggling with. So if that sounds like something that you would like to be a part of, go to my link below, pop your details in there, and then I can keep you updated as to what's happening, because it is something that I'd like to do, but if I don't get enough interest right now, I'll put it on the back burner until later. But yeah, hopefully there's enough of you that are interested, and we can get that underway. Now, I've been doing a weekly update about this, and so in my last weekly update, I spoke about how I was going to stop fasting for a little bit, just because I was noticing that I was getting kind of really obsessed around food again. So I decided I was going to stop the fasting and give it, a little bit of time until I kind of got back into a better place around food, and then try the fasting again. So where am I at? So I've done no fasting, as I said, this week. My weight has just kind of stayed stable. I go up and down, by half a kilo or a kilo, but it just kind of goes up and down like it usually does. That's all fine. I've been eating most days, probably 2 meals a day. I think there's been 1 or 2 days where I've done OMAD, but yeah, mostly 2 meals a day. I've been tracking my calories and just keeping them around my TDEE or just a little bit lower most of the time, which I find is pretty satisfying for me. Although I do find sometimes when I'm doing 2 meals a day, it can be fairly easy to go up past my calories that I want to kind of stick to. So because I'm sticking to around, I think my TDE is just slightly over 2,000 calories a day, and so I try and stick around 1,800, 16 to 1,800, but most of the time it ends up being about 1,800. And but I find that sometimes it's fairly easy to kind of go up over that 2,000, especially earlier in the week. I think just because the whole obsessing around food and kind of just wanting that bigger piece of meat, whereas that seems to be kind of settling down again now. So what I did do this week that was different was that I decided to try taking colostrum. Now, I've been thinking about it for a little while, and I've kind of been looking into all sorts of different things that can help with histamine, because I've had a lot of issues with histamine and realised that there's been quite a big player in what's been going on with my gut health and also with my anxiety and stuff. So if you've not seen my videos talking about histamine, I did a actually really good video probably about 3 months ago on the histamine, which a lot of people appreciated because I kind of dug into lots of information that was a little bit different. And so you can go back and check that. I'll try and remember to link that below. But I also just actually finished a blog post on my website on histamine as well. And so that article's taken me, I don't know, about 3 weeks to write, because I used my notes for the video that I made. But because there was such a long period of time in between doing them, I've had to kind of revisit and go and look at the studies, find the studies and that I had looked at prior again to kind of refresh my brain as I was writing the article. So I will also link to that article below as well, because anyone who's having issues with histamine or think that they might just find that information interesting. So the colostrum was something that I was kind of looking at for histamine and for my gut health. So my reasoning is, part of it is because, like I've been on the carnivore diet now for 2 years, just over, and I've done all this kind of work to try and resolve what's been going on in my gut. And although it's a million times better than it was, don't get me wrong, but it still doesn't take much to upset it. It just seems like, if I change anything, it often will kick off again, and I'm back, back and forward to the toilet with diarrhea and that. And so if I keep everything the same, it seems to be fine. But I don't want to keep everything the same because, I want to be able to experiment and try different things, and I want to get rid of more weight. And so it's frustrating, the fact that it keeps just going back to where it's been before, and it kind of, that messes with my head a bit as well, and it kicks off my anxiety and so I decided to try the colostrum. The other reason that I decided to try it right now is the company that I buy my liver supplements from have just started selling it. So they're a New Zealand company called Homegrown Primal, and they're just a smallish company, I think, down in the South Island, and they do quite a range of organ supplements now, and I think they've probably got plans to grow them more. From what I see the company doing. And so the colostrum is a new thing, and so I thought, okay, I'm going to order some of that, because I was ordering some more liver supplements anyway. And so I decided to try their colostrum. Now, when I started taking it, the day that I started taking it, it arrived on Tuesday last week, and I took my first dose that night with dinner. And then I realised that, hey, maybe it's better to take this on an empty stomach. So Wednesday morning when I got up, I took another dose. So the dose on the bottle is a level teaspoon, which is 3,000 milligrams. And I had no kind of suspicion that this might upset my gut, or didn't even think about it. So I took a teaspoonful with dinner on Tuesday night. Then I took a teaspoonful on an empty stomach on Wednesday morning. Wednesday, I was so sick. And I didn't know really why, because I'd actually changed a few things the day before, which I have a habit of doing, and I need to stop doing it. I need to do one thing at a time. But what I did was I decided to go back to doing a high-fat carnivore diet on the Tuesday. So I suddenly increased my fat, and I started taking the colostrum, and I also started taking some kidney supplements as well, because I ordered some liver, some kidney, for the DAO, for the histamine side of things, and the colostrum. So I started taking kidney, started taking DAO, and upped my fat. And I also, the same day, switched to a different brand of berberine. So I'd been taking berberine again for a little while, because I'd had some of the bottle that I had used before I did the high-fat carnivore diet left in the cupboard. So I had been taking just one of those a day, which was 333 milligrams, and that was fine. I was taking it, there was no problems at all, just once a day. And then I had been thinking about increasing it. So that's right, I had increased it for 2 or 3 days prior. So I was taking 666 milligrams a day. So I was taking 333 in the morning, 333 at night. And then the new variety that I ordered, the new brand, the reason that I got those, I think the other ones were out of stock. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll try these ones. They're a slightly higher dose, so they're 500 milligrams, but they also contain phosphatidylcholine and green tea extract. And so, yeah, so I ordered those. And what happened on Tuesday was I took one of the old ones in the morning, and then I thought, well, I'll just take one of those at night time because the dose isn't that much higher. So I had all of this things that I had changed on Tuesday. So on Wednesday, when I really started to feel unwell, I didn't know what had caused it. And I was just, luckily, I had a really quiet day. I had 2 clients that were late in the afternoon. And by the time they came, things had kind of started to settle down a little bit with the help of about, I don't know, 15 charcoal capsules and some loose charcoal in water. I hadn't eaten anything all day. I didn't eat anything because I just felt so sick. I was nauseous. I had diarrhea. I was back and forth to the toilet. I had pain in my belly and grumbling and all sorts going on. And I was depressed. I was crying. I just felt like crying. And I was like, what the hell? What's up? Like, which out of all of those things, or have all of those things upset me? I didn't know. So I stopped everything, and I just stuck with the colostrum. So the next morning I took a teaspoon of colostrum again, and my belly was upset again. And fortunately, this happens all the time. My earlier clients all postponed, which was just perfect because I was supposed to have a busy, fairly full day. But they postponed their appointments, so I just had I had one first thing in the morning, and then I had another couple later that afternoon. So I didn't feel as bad as I did on the Wednesday, but I still wasn't great. Like I was back and forth to the loo with diarrhea, a bit of nausea, and a bit of abdominal pain. And then on the Friday, I took another teaspoon of colostrum in the morning. And again, things were a little bit better, but still not great. And so, I didn't take a teaspoon. I took a half a teaspoon. That's what it was. I thought, okay, I'm going to cut my dose back. So I took a half a teaspoon of colostrum on Friday morning. And so, yeah, things were a bit better on Friday again. So they were better than they were on the Thursday, and Thursday was better than Wednesday. But still, there was things going on. So I started doing a bit of searching online, trying to work out whether the colostrum was likely to be the cause of this, or whether it was whatever had happened on Wednesday, just kind of continuing on and just gradually getting better. So what I discovered was that for some people, colostrum will really cause problems initially. And so going slow is the way to go. Now, I didn't know that when I started. I mean, you just kind of go with the dosage on the packet. But I came across a couple of videos of people who had started on fairly high doses and then realised that maybe they shouldn't have. So colostrum's pretty powerful stuff. It's if you don't know what it is the first milk that mammals make after giving birth. So humans make colostrum, cows make colostrum, sheep, goats, anything, any mammal that makes milk makes colostrum. And it's the first milk that is that the baby feeds on, and it's full of all sorts of amazing substances that are really healing and building and are very, very good for us and can create great change. And what I have gleaned from the information that I've looked at is that for those of us who are sensitive, who have kind of long-standing gut issues, we're better to just start really low. So maybe an eighth of a teaspoon once a day, and then just kind of build that up. So that's what I've done, is I've dropped right back to a quarter teaspoon. Did a quarter teaspoon on yesterday, and I must have done a quarter teaspoon on Friday as well. Did a quarter teaspoon on Friday just once, and then I did a quarter teaspoon yesterday, which was Saturday, in the morning, and then a quarter teaspoon, an eighth of a teaspoon at night before I went to bed, and that was all fine. Just a little bit of kind of grumbliness and that, but yeah, nothing too drastic. And so I've had one dose of a quarter teaspoon today, and I'll have another one before I go to bed tonight. Just gradually build it up. Now, from what I've seen is for people who have had long-standing gut issues and have had problems initially, they've said go slow and build it up slowly, but stick with it because it's so worth it. And so that's kind of where I'm at with this, is that I want to keep taking the colostrum and see what changes it creates. So the colostrum is really good for so many different things. I've listened to quite a lot of videos, and with people who have been using it, and also people who have been involved with colostrum as part of their business. I was actually listening to a video last night with Dave Asprey, who was the Bulletproof Coffee guy, the guy that started all that. He was interviewing Dr. Raal, I think her name is, and she has founded a company called Armra, and they make a colostrum product that sounds like it's probably very, very good. It seems to be very popular, and I'll pop a link to that below, but I'll also pop a link to the New Zealand Homegrown Primal product as well for Kiwis. I think Homegrown Primal will ship to Australia as well, as far as I know. But yeah, if I was in the States, I would definitely try the Armor product, just from the sounds of it and listening to her and her story. But colostrum it's a superfood, absolute superfood. I mean, it's the first food that we're supposed to consume when we're born. And it helps with gut health. It affects the microbiome in a really positive way. So it feeds the bifidus species, I think, of bacteria, and kind of starves out the unwanted, less friendly bacteria in our gut, and it helps massively with recovery from exercise and building muscle. It helps with muscle and joint pain and inflammation, and it also really helps with hair and skin. So basically, it reactivates with the skin. It reactivates your body's own stem cell collagen production, and so it's really good for healthy skin. And like listening to Dr. Raal last night, she was saying basically that we are being bombarded, which we are, from all sides by toxins and chemicals, and our mucosal barriers that are supposed to protect us are having to deal with all of this onslaught that they're really not designed to deal with. So colostrum helps with all of that. It helps to heal and seal all those mucosal barriers that are barriers to the outside world. And so, it has amazing benefits. And because it was funny, because on that video they were talking about how when you have products like this that help with so many different things, people kind of go, yeah, I don't know if I believe that it does all of that. But what Dr. Raal was saying is that, and it's true, when you get products and foods and things like that are dealing at such a low level in our biology, modern medicine focuses on the top level of everything, and their drugs are geared towards the top level. Whereas when you have something like colostrum that's at this very base level, that base level affects everything in our bodies, and that's why it can have such profound effects on our health. So the colostrum, I'm only not quite a week into taking it, and but it just seems to be gradually getting better with that smaller dose. So I'll gradually up that dose and just see how it goes. And the fasting, I may start again this week, I'm thinking. I haven't made a plan as to what date I'm going to start yet. But I think I'll get back to some fasting, even if, as I said in my last video, even if I do maybe a 48-hour fast once a week, or I might do a couple of 32 to 42-hour fasts, just do a couple of alternate days during the week and see how I go with that, and then maybe eventually build it up again from there, and perhaps start following the calendars again from the Steak and Butter Gang. I'm not really sure. So I just have to see how my body and my mind reacts to it, I guess, because as I said last time, I don't like getting into that place where I'm kind of really obsessed with food. It's not a healthy place for me to be. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So yeah, just thinking about starting my fasting again. Weight is stable, and trying colostrum, which is I'm hoping maybe the answer to this gut that just is still easily upset. So yeah, if you've tried colostrum, and let me know what you think in the comments below the video. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And if you like the video, make sure to subscribe and like and share with anyone you think might be interested. I thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Bye for now.